again. My name is Phil Gezes. I'm sales engineer at Acronis for the DACH region. I'm based here in Switzerland, so I'm mainly responsible for the Swiss region, so Swiss-German part, for example. And I'm a technical guy, so I'm responsible for all technical questions, POCs, trial periods, and so on. So if there are questions from our partners or from our end customers, I will be there to help. As Lawrence already introduced, today we talk about Acronis Files Advanced. This is our secure enterprise file sync and share solution. We will go over all the features so that you have an overview and an idea how it works. To begin, I'd like to introduce just a very short overview about who is Acronis, what is Acronis doing. We are a global leader in cyber protection, so we care about data, everything about data and the protection of data. This means we are caring about backup and disaster recovery solutions, but also for solutions to access data in a secure way. Our corporate headquarters is in Switzerland. The office is based in Schaffhausen. We already had a 15th anniversary party in our new offices because we want to extend our presence here in Switzerland. So we moved into a bigger office, and we will also invest in manpower. So we will have some developers, some QA, and other functions here based in Switzerland. Our international headquarters is in Singapore, where we also have a lot of engineering and research organizations based. But we also are present in plus 25 offices around the globe in about 18 countries, so we're really present all over the world. One interesting fact I want to share is that we have around, or maybe a bit above 1,000 employees, but the interesting part is that we are very technical based, so a lot of our employees, I'd say up to 50%, are in technical positions. This means in development, QA, research, support, and all these kind of functions. So we have the possibilities to adapt very fast to the market, develop new functionalities, and develop even better innovations that are not known to the solutions by now. Just that you know what we are doing, the secure access, sync and sharing part is just a small part of our portfolio. So we have our classic on-premise business on the left-hand side with backup, disaster recovery, and we do have this Acronis Files Advanced here. So that's the topic of today. But we moved to sort of a cloud company. So we have a lot of cloud product solutions for service providers and partners. So for example, we have stuff like backup and disaster recovery in the cloud, but we also have a service called Acronis Files Cloud, where a part of the functionality of Files Advanced is based in the cloud. This means our customers and partners don't need to install anything in their premises, but can use the software out of the cloud as software as a service. That's just that you know what we're doing other than the access part. So why do we talk about accessing data? The world is converting to be 100% digital. This means we are working in a digital manner. We are working on the go. We are working on our mobile devices. So we are working in the cloud, mobile. We use social platforms to interact with each other, and our processes are mainly digital. So we need to adopt our solutions to that fact. And there is another fact, the massive data growth. I think you all know the big data topics. So the growth is exponential, and we need to have a solution to face that fact. Multiple devices, it's the best example here, because we are using tablets, we're using smartphones, we are using fat clients, notebooks, Macs, Windows. So we have all those devices by hand. We are always on and connected with them, and we need solutions to use them for our business in a productive way. So what are the business needs? The business wants to streamline the business processes. So for example, by supporting bring your own device strategies, this means the employee owns the device and not the company. This brings a lot of benefits, but also a lot of requirements to the solutions, to the solutions that are working with data, accessing, and stuff like this. The main goal is to boost productivity. So this means, for example, if you're on the go, if you're traveling from point A to point B, you're sitting in a train, for example, for 2 hours. The one scenario is that you're looking out of the window for 2 hours, or the other one is to work in a productive manner. If you want to work, you just need not only your devices, because with your devices you cannot work, you need data to work. And that's what we want to solve. We want to have you, we want to that you have your data on your devices and you can work with them. So the third point, and that's very important, everything has to be secure, private, and in control. So you don't want to just have data flowing around on devices all over the globe. You want to have the big picture. You want to know which data is where and what user has access to them. When speaking about business needs, there is always an IT in the background, and the IT somehow has similar requirements, but some of the requirements are on top. So the IT wants to stay in control. They want to stay in control of the data, so they want to know where the data resides. They want to control the users and the devices, and they want to control it in a flexible way. So they want to choose who can access which data and who can access the data and share it, for example, and who has no access to them. So they want to, in the first place, protect the critical data assets of the company. So for that, they need authentication mechanisms. They need an encryption. So the data needs to be encrypted in the data center, but also out in the field. And they need, for example, features like a remote wipe. So they have the control to remove all the data of an employee's device. And one thing that I'm facing a lot in projects is the integration into existing infrastructures. And there is a very important word. It should be easy. So it should be easy to implement, it should be easy to administrate, and it should be easy to use. And that's our main goal with Acronis Files Advanced. It should be really easy. I will show you afterwards an architecture overview, so you know how to integrate our solution into an infrastructure. So we use Active Directory, mobile device management solutions like Mobile Iron, Intune, BlackBerry, and so on. So you can integrate our solution into those device management interfaces and then administration policies. So Acronis Files Advanced, it's the solution to solve all these problems or all these requirements and needs. It's our enterprise-ready, secure, and easy-to-use file sync and share service. It enables your users to access, create, edit, and share files. So this enables them to collaborate in an easy manner with their colleagues, with external parties. But the IT is always in control and can manage the data, the users, and the apps that can access the data. I already said that, enable bring your own device. So it's really the goal. Acronis Files Advanced is no mobile device management, it's a mobile content management. This means it's all about accessing the data but not controlling the device. For controlling the device, there are other solutions like Mobile Iron where we integrate, but if you don't have mobile device management, it's not a problem. You can still use Acronis Files Advanced and your users get an easy access in a secure way to the data. So how does the architecture look like? On the left-hand side, we have an existing IT infrastructure with all the components, for example, an Active Directory, file storage, for example, a Windows file server or Linux file server or a NAS system, it doesn't matter, and for example, a SharePoint document library. In addition, that's not on this slide, we could even attach a cloud-based repository to the Files Advanced server, for example, Microsoft Azure. On the right-hand side, we do have our users. They use tablets, smartphones, fat clients, notebooks. They can use them, for example, simultaneously, so at the same time, and they want to access the data, and they want to have their data in place if they are not connected to the internet or to the network. The users want to access the data, so they go to the Acronis Files Advanced server that we have in the middle. So this is a single component. In most of the basic environments, it's one single server. There is the Acronis Files Advanced server installed, and this Files Advanced server serves as a policy engine, a sync engine. It integrates into the Active Directory. It takes the NTFS permissions of your file shares, for example. It really is the connection point between the users and the existing infrastructure. Through the policy engine in the middle, the administrator can configure policies like what device, what minimum iOS version, what user can access which data, is he maybe having somewhere only read-only access, and all policies like this. There is more than 50 policies available. It's important that we use the existing NTFS permissions. So if a user is working in the infrastructure and he has read-only access to a file share, for example, he also has read-only access on his mobile device on this share without configuring anything. The policy engine is really a layer, a security layer on top to go in a more granular way and adjust the security settings in an addition to the existing one. Yes. So we're talking about on-premise solution. This means you install it in your infrastructure. That's very important because we are using Active Directory for authentication, means we need to have access to your LDAP authentication. The installation is very easy. It's an exe, you just run, you hit enter. I think a first installation can be done very easily. When it comes to configuration, integration, integrating into MDM, then Nomasis is there to help you driving this project. We support HTTPS reverse proxy, so if you want to add an additional security layer, just add a reverse proxy in front, and the packets will travel through the reverse proxy to the Files Advanced server and to the storage backend. What's the benefit of an on-premise solution? You are in 100% control of the data. This means you don't give your data out of your infrastructure to someone else. It really stays there. This also eliminates the data limit. So if you have storage, you can use this storage. You don't have to pay a volume license or something like this. You really just use what you have. And as we leverage your existing file servers or other storages, you don't have to migrate your data to the cloud. So if you're using a cloud solution, you have to migrate, copy, or move your data to the cloud. Means you have them twice, or you have them just in the cloud. So it makes everything a lot more complicated than if you're just using your existing data. So secure file access and sharing, I already told that we have an encryption in place. It's an in-transit and on-device encryption. So if you're accessing data, it's secured by HTTPS. And if you're syncing data to a device for offline use, let's say to an iPhone, then this data is also encrypted, for example, by FIPS. So it's secured and no one can access the data, no other apps can access the data that are not allowed to. Secure web editing with support for Microsoft Office Online. That's something new we added with version 8. So today you have the feature to add your Office Online server, to attach Files Advanced to this Office Online server and use your browser to edit files that are placed in the sync and share repository. Sharing, control, I already told that it's important that IT stays in control. They also can control the sharing, so they define what user can share data, what can be shared, what can be uploaded to the server, what's the maximum file size, for example, and to whom can be shared. So, for example, you could restrict that no @gmx.com email addresses can be invited to the service, for example. Policy, I already said that the admin can configure policies as they want. So the advantage is you stay in control, you don't give away the data to the user. You're really the one that configures what can be done. Collaboration platform, Office Online Server is something that is part of this as well, because with Office Online you can edit a file in the browser. When you edit the file in the browser, it adds an additional security layer as well, because the data don't have to be downloaded to a local device. It stays where it resides, and it's really edited in an online way. And there are other cool Office Online features like working together live on the same document, for example. If you want to edit a file on a mobile device, we have an in-app Office editor for for all the Office files like Word, Excel, PowerPoint. We have a PDF annotation tool, so this allows you to work in this encrypted container on the mobile device without moving a file out of the container just to edit it. You really edit it in the container itself. Yeah, it's something new. We added zip support, so you now can unzip files and rezip them right in the app. So that enables you to fast and easy collaboration with employees and external parties as well. So if you want to, you can share project folders or single files to an external partner, customer, and so on too. Policy engine, that's the heart of the solution. 50 plus configurable features. I already said some of them. There are many. It makes no sense to list them all. I would say it's best to try the solution, to run a POC and just look at them, what you want to control and what not. The policies are based on Active Directory groups or users. So you can really go in and set different policies for different user groups or different users. For example, if you want to have the marketing department having full control, but the C-level just to have read only or vice versa, you can configure that all in there. Yeah, it integrates with MDM. I said that as well. The cool part is that you can control the policies out of your MDM administration interface. So if the policy setting is supported, you just have to set it once and it will transfer over to our policy engine. Yes, that's it. Auditing, a very important part, especially since GDPR. So the complete audit logging gives you the possibility to meet compliance standards. It logs really everything, so it logs all the access, what user is accessing what data, is a device syncing, is a device logging in, has a file or a folder shared. It even logs administrator actions like deleting a user, moving data from point A to point B. So it really is transparent so that you know that or what has been done with your solution. You can filter the information, you can search for information, so it really gives you an insight. For example, if there was a suspicious activity, you can dig into your audit log and look up what has been done and what device or what user had been affected with it. As a half of an hour is not enough time to show you an extended demo, I just wanted to show you some screens. On here you see the web portal. That's the interface you're using through a browser. In here you configure what you want to sync, you create folders, you access your network shares, you access your home drive. On the right hand side you see the Office Online integration, for example opening a PowerPoint file, edit it. You can edit it live with your colleague, for example, and save it back to the original location. On the left hand side there's a screenshot of the mobile app. Yeah, I just wanted to show you that, to show you how easy it is. Most of the time it really does not require any training for the user because it's very intuitive, and that's something we are really focusing on when developing our solutions. Again, Acronis Files Advanced, it's easy to use, easy to administrate, it's complete We support all of the devices, mobile, fat clients, notebooks, Macs, Windows, iOS, Android, Windows, phone, and so on. We have apps to access data, to sync data. We have